And we are live. What's good, Charles Mandel Saint? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast. How y'all feeling out there, man? Happy Thursday, man. It's football tonight, y'all. It's football Thursday. I forget who's playing, but I'm watching the game. It's early in the season, so everybody's playing hard, man. You saw with Kansas City last Thursday, so I definitely don't want to. I don't want to miss nothing. I don't want to miss nothing at all. Just checking the audio. Audio is good. Hope y'all guys are having a good Thursday. Yeah, my Thursday is doing pretty good, better than yesterday, man. My little one's doing way better. I think she had a little stomach virus, man, like 24-hour thing, bro. It just wrecked her, man. But she's good now. Came out of that like a soldier. You know what I mean? My little paratrooper. She did what she was supposed to do. No crying, no nothing. But we were up late last night. We were up late, but we're good now. Um, yeah, man. Still out there doing the downrange podcast stuff, man. Just doing the political stuff over there. And it's kind of, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's cool because we're starting from scratch and we're just building, man. I'm just gonna put the content over there. I'm gonna keep doing the content. I'm gonna go all in politically, man. Some stuff out there we definitely need to talk about that's going on here in America. A lot of redistricting mandates coming down from the courts, and then you got different states that don't want to do it. There's a story out there of a man who was elected to office, and they wouldn't even let him in to City Hall after he won the election, and they still won't let him in. So we're gonna be talking about all that stuff on Downrange Podcast. Do me a favor, check that out. If you guys like the political stuff, that's where it's gonna be. But over here, we're gonna talk about what we need to talk about, and we're gonna talk about Fresh and Fit, Myron and Fresh. We're on TimCast a couple weeks ago, and man, oh man, Myron and Fresh were dropping gems over there, trying their best to drop knowledge on TimCast and his team. I don't know if they listen, but man, we definitely gonna get into it. So yeah, man, let's make it happen. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Yo, shout out to Shushu, man. She hooked it up, man. Appreciate you, sis, with the fly intro. I love that thing, man. I absolutely do. When you guys come in, please do me a favor. Hit that like button on the way in. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? I'm definitely gonna drop the link on this one so we can get some perspectives out there. But we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. We're gonna start off with talking about the modern dating world and where it is right now, man. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a little bit about religion. You know, those people out there who find religion and they want to change their ways, which is a good thing, but we're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to end with a little bit of politics. And not even hardcore politics, because I did a full show about this over on on Downrange Podcast, but Tim Pool gave some really bad advice for anybody who might be dealing with law enforcement, dealing with the government, dealing with, Johnny Law, you know what I'm saying, when the prosecutors come. Man, he gave some bad advice, and I wanted to cover that real quick. That's that'll be the last thing we talk about. Because, man, if you find yourself in trouble, man, if the police come to your door, prosecutors come to your door, and they have a warrant and they want to see you, man, make sure you get seen, man. Make sure you take care of that. Don't play games with that. So we're going to end with that part. But so yeah, let's get into this, man. It was there's the clip out there. It's about a 7.5 minute clip where a conservative dad tries to 1 versus 1 Myron on men having options, right? So this was a talk about dating, and wherever Fresh and Fit goes, there's always a couple guys who want to challenge their techniques and their beliefs, like, and I find it strange that so many people don't want to accept that things have changed. And that's what it boils down to. Things have the landscape has changed. That's all. Right? The situation on the ground has drastically changed. Recently, especially, with technology and with social media. And there are a lot of men and women out there who just refuse to accept it. And most of those people are in successful relationships. I often wonder, like, why you even have this conversation? It's not the same. people just want to, it's not that hard to get this. It's not that hard to get that when it comes to finding a girlfriend or finding a boyfriend, finding a husband, finding a wife, having a successful relationship. They're like, it's not that hard. It is very difficult. It's always been difficult. But now, as a dude, you really got to step it up just to get to the point where you can even have a shot at, dealing with women and know what you're doing while dealing with women, man, in today's world. So, yeah, this clip, man, I want to definitely react to this particular clip, man. It's fire. So here's the guy right here. He's part of Tim Cass's, crew. I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know his name. I didn't watch the entire video. I couldn't find it. I think that Tim Cass does stuff for YouTube, and then he does more stuff that's like behind paywalls and stuff like that. I don't really rock with TimCast IRL like that. Just every now and then I'll see some stuff that, I'll sit down and watch, like, okay, that's fascinating to hear that take, but I'm not a hardcore fan. So, but I did watch the 2 hours that they do have on Fresh and Fit. This brother wasn't, with Fresh and Fit on YouTube, this brother wasn't on that. There was another guy on that portion of it. And I just think they did extra behind the paywall stuff. So this clip, I believe, came from the behind the paywall stuff. And this is a conservative guy, who's in, a committed relationship. Apparently it's monogamous. He lives in flyover country. What's flyover country? Flyover country is parts of America that planes just fly over. No one really goes to, the Dakotas, Oklahoma, like Missouri and all that kind of stuff, Montana. That's like flyover country, man. He's not in a big city. He's not in the LA, San Diego, San Francisco, New York, New Jersey, DC, Miami. He's not in those type places. I didn't mention the state with all those other cities, but what's even popping in Jersey, right? What it is Newark. I guess Newark is the big city. Well, that's the airport. Newark, but I don't know. Anyway, so this is a guy who's like in the middle of nowhere, Christian found, fundamentals, has a good wife, probably pretty doing well. This is that guy. And whenever these type dudes, and I don't mean that in a negative way, that's cool. Those guys who have that, man, I'm happy for you, man, more power to you. But they like to get into these discussions with Myron about how the dating world is, and they just don't like what they're hearing from Myron and Fresh and Fit. You know what I mean? So like, it is what it is. Brother Jackson, the building. What's good, fam? I used to. He just isn't who he says he is, in my opinion. I used to. Oh, you talking about Tim Cass? Yeah, Tim Pool. Yeah, man. I don't really rock with Tim like that, man. But this, I see where he comes from. He gets real emotional. I saw him on Joe Rogan a couple years ago. Rogan had the people on from, I think it was YouTube or some big social media platform. I think it was YouTube. And man, Tim Pool went in there, bro, and was like so emotional. And like he was just so fired up because of what was going on and his frustrations with the platform and whatever. And he's talking to the big wigs. And I'm like, man, that was an opportunity for you to really be heard and kind of get some, make your points. But he was so angry and so emotional. And he just came off as that dude. It was just, when I saw that, I was like, who? But I get it. I mean, we've all been there. You get so mad that you want to, you just don't know what to do with yourself. That's when you really got to buckle down. And that's when you really got to, I guess the term is maintain your frame or whatever, but you got to really hold what you got and stick to the mission and try to keep your head clear. And if you know you can't keep your head clear, bring people with you, because the social media folks had a team, and it was just Tim Pool and Rogan. So like Tim should have at least brought one or two other people with him so he could have got into that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Brother Smeevils is in the building. What's good? Good day, mate. How you feeling, bro? Twitter, Jake Dorsey or whatever his name is. H. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, dude. But we're about to get into it, and this is gonna be a good one. I love it when I hear these people go back and forth with Myron and Fresh about what's really going on out there in the dating world, bro. I'm here to tell you, it is unrecognizable. I talk about that over here all the time. Men, young men, old men, middle-aged men. If y'all out there in that world, you out there dating, you need to understand it is not what you remember, right? It is not what you were told. It is different. And the guys who are able to adjust are the guys who tend to do well. The guys who refuse to adjust are getting wrecked so many ways, man. It's crazy. Brother Jack was like, and I'm Tim. His whole stick from the beginning, his whole stick was from the beginning was he left leaning moderate, and now he pushes hard right turns. Yeah, for real. That's what I thought about him. He came off as one of those, hardcore Antifa types, right? You know what I mean? Like the whole Antifa thing. When I saw Tim Pool, like that was the skateboarding rebel, you know what I mean? With the skull hat on. I thought he was real left leaning, right? Now I started watching his content. I'm like, bro, this dude is extremely far right. Again, the stuff that he says is like, it's wow. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get this started, man. Let's get into the first part of this, man. Again, and this is the conservative dad who wants to talk to Myron and Fresh about what's going on in the dating world. Let's check it out.
Not to keep harping on this issue, but like that's kind of what I feel like for men, because we are so motivated by sex, by some of the things we're talking about, women and sex. If you make too much of your purpose about just that pleasure-seeking activity, I feel like you get to a certain point, and I've talked to these guys. Like you talk to the guys who are getting ignored by women. I've talked to the men who have had their families destroyed because, again, they got it in their system and they couldn't figure out how to get out of it. And whether that's
whether that's
cheating or porn or like whatever it is, like when you go down that path of the way it molds your mind and creates these neural pathways.
But they're not being honest with their partner and saying, listen, baby, I love you, but I'm going to have other women. And most guys can't have that conversation with their girl.
That's just
facts. I want to stop it right there just real quick. But the guys who had these conversations about dudes getting wrecked, getting divorced, it all boils down to cheating or whatever. What really happened? The guy wasn't honest. He wasn't honest in the beginning. He wasn't honest. He didn't know himself. He wasn't able to do whatever it is he promised this woman he would do. He cheated, got caught, did it again, got caught. We know the stories, right? And it is what it is. And he winds up getting divorced or whatever. That does happen. And Myron's about to make an excellent point, which more men need to understand and make and understand. His point he's making is, like Myron said, it is that guy's fault for not being honest up front. If you want to smash a bunch of women, but you want to marry that woman, go tell that woman, like, I want to marry you, I want to be with you, but I'm gonna go out here and do what I do. You guys come to an agreement, and if she's cool with it, fine, go ahead and get married. If she's not cool with it, you're gonna have to move on to the next. And that's what dudes are not doing. You know what I mean? They're just not doing it. Also, this dude is Jack Black. I don't even know who he was. Brother Cody's in the building. What's good, fam? Oh, no. This is at Jack. My bad. This is at Jack. Y'all know I'm sitting up here half crazy and old. But Brother Cody is talking to the young knight. He is definitely a leftist, just struggles with the ideology of it and is trying to at least rationalize, right? They're talking about Tim Pool, TimCastIRL, who has an event coming up in Miami, by the way, which I thought for his demographic, for his crowd to go to Miami, downtown Miami, with an event where you're going to have, Patrick Bet-David, cool. Patrick Bet-David is welcome everywhere, but you got, Trump Jr., you got Matt Gaetz, and you got some other dude. Like, bro, what are you thinking? Like, the one city in Miami, I would not have those guys, like Trump Jr. and Matt Gaetz especially. PBD can go anywhere. But those two dudes, Trump Jr. and Matt Gaetz, Miami, that doesn't make sense. Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, definitely. Fort Lauderdale, maybe. Palm Beach, definitely. You know what I mean? Fort Myers, Sarasota, Tampa, Orlando. But Miami, I don't know about that. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on the newspaper and see if anything pops off. So, and Brother Cody is king. Welcome, man. Good to see you, bro. Let's continue.
Lying to yourself that that's who you are and that's who you always have to be. Because that's
being honest with your woman and yourself.
It's accepting that you cannot rewire your brain and change the way you.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Why is it that we prioritize the female sexual strategy, her being fulfilled, having a family, being happy, her getting what she wants, etc. But if a guy says, I want to have sexual options and have other women, that's demonized and you need to suppress your.
I'm all freedom. If your wife is cool with that and you guys want to engage in that, I have. But what I'm arguing is successfully.
But this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. Most men that have options are going to want to enact on those options. And I think it's ludicrous that we say women should pursue happiness and they should be able to do what they want and get the fulfillment of a man, etc. Because men and women are fulfilled in different ways. Women are fulfilled through relationships and typically family and having the highest value guys.
You know what I want to do?
I disagree. Men, real quick, men want to, in general, Men are fulfilled by different ways, their purpose, etc. But one of the things guys want to do a lot of the times is they want to have sexual variety. And my thing is, if a guy works to a certain point and he wants to have sexual variety and he's honest with his partner, he should absolutely be able to.
There's a lot that I want to do.
And it's funny, like the part there that the dude said, you kind of heard if he was following, the dude said, I've never seen that happen, or I've never seen a guy pull that off successfully. He's talking about a man who's being honest with his woman. Hey, you're going to be home and I'm going to go out and I'm going to have all these other women on the side or whatever. And whatever. He says never seen it. He's never seen it. That's not true. Everyone's seen it or at least heard of it. You know what I mean? Look at, John F. Kennedy, right? And Jackie Onassis, right? His wife, top tier woman from the finest stock, right? Powerful family. She was at home while her husband was smashing Marilyn Monroe, and everyone knew it. And I'm pretty sure Marilyn Monroe wasn't the only one. There was a time back in the day where it was pretty much accepted. It is this on planet Earth. There's places. If you go to the Middle East, if you go to Central and South America, if you go to parts of Europe, Eastern and Western Europe, when you talk to women and you talk about high status men, top tier guys, the richest of the rich, those women are like, of course he has a mistress, of course he's doing this and doing that, but I have the ring, I have the name, right? I have the trust, I have his, I have his children, he loves me. It happens all the time. It can be pulled off, but men have to be honest. Am I saying that most women are going to be okay with that, especially if you're just an average dude? Nah, they're not going to be okay with that. But at least you're not lying to her. Be upfront, be honest. And that's what Myron's saying. And he has another good point there too. He's like, well, why is it that the female sexual strategy is praised and held up as the standard, as the norm, whereas the male sexual strategy isn't? You know what I mean? Most dudes, this is real talk, most dudes, if they could, would mess around with other women. They would. If they had an opportunity, if they was on a business trip somewhere, if they out there kicking it, some cute woman walks up and say, hey, I just want to have no strings attached, I want to let you smash right now. Most dudes would do it if she's fine. Most dudes would do it. I'm not saying every guy would do it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But most dudes would do it. You know what I mean? Especially if they knew they were going to get away with it, because it's no real emotional tie to it. It's just bam. It's you know what I mean? It's like taking a swim, man. It's like, doing a quick workout. And they're going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun, whatever. But they're going to take a shower and forget all about it. Go home to their wife and children and be happy as they can be. That happens. And, for us to say that that doesn't, and this guy here is saying, well, men need to fight that impulse. They need to fight that urge. Myron's question is why? Why do they need to fight it? Why can't they just tell the truth and find a woman who's okay with that and just get on with their life? And he has a point. For the record, me, I want to be monogamous. I want to be in a relationship with just one woman. That's me. But I understand my nature, right? I know me, right? Know yourself. I know myself. I will not put myself in a situation where a beautiful woman is trying to give me this Foxy Brown. I'm not going to put myself in that situation because I already know, like, man, I'll make that happen. That's not it. I'm not going to do it. If I'm in a hotel somewhere, a nice hotel on a business trip, I'm not going to the hotel bar and hanging out. I'm not talking or letting the wait staff hang out with me like, oh, you're cool. Can I come over? And I'm not putting myself in that situation. I'm not having a couple of drinks. I'm not doing that. I'm going to order food. I'm going to order room service or get food somewhere else. I'm not talking to no women because I want to be with my woman. I made that commitment to her. But I know if I put myself in a situation, it's going to jump off. That's just me being 100 with it. You know what I mean? And it's so, when these dudes say that you just need to rewire your brain and you need to just stop lusting after women, man, cut that out, man. Stop that. That's not realistic. That's not realistic at all. And Brother Jack was saying for when you've seen, honestly, this all this is recent stuff. Seems like January 6th, he's been far right, just saying. And it's talking about Tim Pool. He seems pretty far right to me. Brother Mangel's in the building. What's good, fam? Brother Cody. I mean, it's common all around the world. Is common. A lot of places accept it or expect it or accept it. And we're just talking about how dudes get around, man. Like, it is what it is, bro. And in America, just backwards like that, man. Australia, Canada, probably New Zealand, but like you go to Europe, man, England, Germany, France, Spain, Greece, Those women tell you like, what? Of course. Like when Bill Clinton got in trouble with Monica Lewinsky, the rest of the world was like, of course that happened. Why is this a thing? Why are y'all even talking about it? America is just on a different plane. You know what I'm saying? Just a different plane. Let's continue.
All the time. There's so much that I want to do. I have 2 young kids and a family. There's so much I want to do. And I discipline around because there are more important purposes and things that I need to do versus what I want to do. And I think I would love to do, like, when you have a child, if and when you have a child, I would love to redo this podcast. And I think it's reorient the way you think about
I understand
this
that,
issue.
but I'm saying but at the end of the day, you're still choosing to do that. What I'm saying is that we live in such a gynocentric society that we prioritize the female sexual strategy over the male sexual strategy.
You can be fulfilled. You can be fulfilled sexually with one partner.
No, most men absolutely want a variety of women. But we're designed for it. We're programmed for it. And I'm saying, look, guys, if a guy's going to bust his ass and get to a certain point socioeconomically, physically, and be attractive and be able to get a girl and have a family, whatever, I think he should be able to exercise options if he does, with being, if he wants to, with, obviously letting his girl know and being honest. The problem is that most guys are not honest with their woman. They don't tell her what they really want to do. They do it behind her back. She finds out and it causes issue. I think guys should be honest about it. And if they have the discipline and skill set to be able to build a family, make the money, etc., they should be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
A woman could actually respect a man. Like, I'm not talking about stay with him because he's rich and is high value. You think a woman would be cool and respect a man deeply as the leader of the family if he's
absolutely? She'll respect him even more so. And I'll tell you why. Women are not the same as us. When a man is able to have sex with a bunch of different women, it's social proof. Women are attracted to that. We are not the same. A woman will like you more when she knows that you picked her over the other girls versus she was your only option. Women and men mate very differently when it comes to intersexual dynamics. And women, I would argue, social proof is one of the most important factors when it comes to being attractive to women.
Do you think it would not be more attractive to have a man who has options and has people who want his attention, but he gives it all to her?
I mean, we can go on the Machiavellian side. No, well, here's the thing. Women do the best when they have competition anxiety.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you have to have sex with them. You can have a competition and you can have, like, I'm sure I could go outside with the watch and figure out a way to get that competition. But do you have to actually engage in sex with other women to show that there is competition?
The watch is good.
I think it's up to the guy.
Requires binoculars or something.
It's a choice, though.
I think it's up to the guy. My thing is,
it's up to the guy.
My thing is that I think that it's wild that we always prioritize what women want, but what guys want is always
prioritize.
And we try to dictate them and say,
listen, prioritize the family.
You discipline, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, I built the discipline to build myself up to even get to this point, to even have choice.
Listen, I think we're both right, but as a man, you should make a choice to do what you want to do.
100%.
I mean, that guy's saying a whole lot of stuff there, and brother Cody, you're right, man. Myron is nailing it, and the guy sounds soft, but the guy is, he has bought into the narrative that's out there, right? It is accepted and is almost expected that we prioritize making females happy and prioritize their mating strategy. Facts. Hey, the dude is a little bit naive, and he can be, because he's from flower country, man. He doesn't have to deal with these issues to an extent. I mean, they're gonna get into this a little bit later with technology, but he doesn't know what he's dealing with. And it's a lot of these dudes or go on camera, they'll go on TV or a podcast or something like that, and they'll say all these things only to find out that their wife was out there doing something, right? Which sucks. I hate when that happens, right? And I'm not saying that it's all the time that it happens, but when it does happen, man, those dudes get crushed so hard, right? And he's saying, well, you can go out there and have competition, have your woman compete for your affection, but you're not having sex with other women. You could do that. But if a guy knows himself and he knows that's how he's going to get down, he needs to tell his woman that's what it is. If he's going to commit to her and he's going to forego all that, then he needs to keep his word and not go out there and cheat. But it's not cheating if she knows. If she knows this is what you're doing, it's not cheating, right? And it's the understanding, like, in a lot of guys, women will say, well, if you're going to go out there and have other people, then I'm going to go out there and have other people. No, some guys will be like, no, that's not the agreement. I do what I do, but I'm going to provide and protect and all the other stuff. You have to take care of the house, take care of the children, and be here and hold it down. Now she's like, well, no, I don't want to do that. Fine. Then y'all ain't meant for each other. But as Americans, we don't do that, do we? No. We sit there and we, you know what I mean? We say the words, but we don't really mean it. We go out there, we cheat. Women cheat too. You have women who get out there, men do this too. They'll get married to the person of their dreams and they let themselves go. They pick up extra weight, right? They're not as sexy anymore. And then they wonder why their partner doesn't want to be with them anymore. I mean, they chose you because you in shape. If you look like He-Man, that's what the woman wants. She don't want you to lose all that muscle and become fat and just become that big dude, the fat guy. She's not attracted to that. There are women out there who are attracted to big men, but she ain't it. And the same thing with the dude. The dude got you because you a dime. And then y'all get married, you just let yourself go. He's going to, you know what I mean? He ain't trying to have it. Now, if that dude has the understanding, he and his wife, she let herself go a little bit or whatever, but he loves her. She's taking care of the family. She's holding down the house, and he's out there smashing all the dimes he wants. And he's not disrespectful. She doesn't know about the stuff. He's not throwing it in her face, right? He's taking care of business. He's safe, and they agreed to it. Yeah, it could work. And there's more women out there that will be okay with that than people think. But you have to be a very successful guy in most cases. I know broke dudes who be running game like that and tell a women, I'm messing around, and the women have all kind of money and the guy's broke and they'll still be with that dude, right? So it happens. You just got to open your eyes to see it. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. You just got to open your eyes to see it. But he's like, you make the sacrifice for the family. The family has nothing to do with it. The children don't know what's going on. They're not involved in this sort of thing. And if the grown-ups have an understanding, it's not going to affect the kids in one bit. Now, a lot of women get into it. They say that, if they agree to this, they can't renege later. Like, no, I want you to do, can't do that. That's wrong. So, and then, these powerful men have these prenups or whatever. So they're going to have these, they're going to have the paperwork backing them up. Most cases, like, well, you agreed to this, you backing out the agreement. It's over. Here's the money you were promised. You know what I mean? We're done or whatever. But now you bring the court into it, and then it gets into now the children get hurt. Now it's a problem because now the family's been split. You know what I mean? That's because one of the parents didn't want to hold up their end of the agreement, right? So it's crazy. Here we go.
That's
now,
the thing.
Now, I hate to bring religion into this, but like you're a Christian, right?
Correct.
So in the Bible, who was the wisest man in recorded history in the Bible?
The oldest?
The wisest.
Oh, the wisest. You're gonna have to educate me.
King Solomon.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there with this religion, man. They don't even know.
What do you have? 1,000 wives.
Okay.
Once again, it's choice. Now, added to that as well, I'm not saying you need to do that because obviously it's sinful to do that. But as a man, as you know, we have sin inside of us. So once again, we're going to want to go there, be with other girls. So it's in us.
Yeah.
Now, to deal with that, once again, take your pick of the litter, make a choice, and get married.
My biggest thing is this.
And what Fresh was saying makes a lot of sense. Like people look at Fresh and they like to talk crazy, man, or whatever. Like, man, you can't understand him. Like, bro has a real speech impediment, and he's been working on it, and he's gotten so much better. Fresh is a wise dude, especially for his age, man. He pays attention to what's going on around him. What he just said was wise. You could tell he's in the Bible. He's into his studies, man. He believes in what he believes in. This guy across the table, not so much, right? These people who are these Bible thumpers, man, if you really study the Bible, you look at that part of the world, all those men in the Bible have multiple wives, man. Go back and read it, especially the men who were powerful men. They had multiple wives. It was all kind of stuff going on, right? And it wasn't a sin. It was a sin to break the covenant. It wasn't a sin to have multiple wives. And to God says to go forth and be fruitful. You know what I mean? Go forth and multiply. That's what God said. And raise your children accordingly. Bro, these people wear their religion on their sleeve and they don't even understand their belief. That's a huge problem as well. That is a very big problem today. But let's continue.
That's it. I just simply want to say this because I don't want people to sit here and be like, Myron's saying, like, go out and bang a bunch of chicks. No. If a guy wants to be monogamous, be monogamous. Yeah. Absolutely more power to you. But I know after talking to literally thousands of men and knowing how men think, etc., we're way more alike. Most guys do not want to be monogamous. So I say this. If you're going to go ahead and you have this itch and you want to scratch, etc., be honest with your partner exercise your options, get to a point where you're attractive enough where you can even exercise your options. You got to get your money on point. You got to be attractive. This is why we have a whole playlist on making money. We have a whole playlist on getting in shape. We have a whole playlist on understanding female nature, being attractive, and being a holistically attractive man in general. Once you achieve all these things and you have a woman by your side that you love, etc., and you're honest with her, look, I want to have other women, and you do it in a safe way, it can absolutely be done. But my thing is, I don't want guys to suppress what they want to do and follow the gynocentric model of, oh, be monogamous to one woman because you have to be when you busted your ass to get to a certain place to even attract this woman in the first place. I want guys to be monogamous
this is the last
because
thing
they
I'll
want to
say.
be.
This is the last thing I'll say, and I don't want to drown on about this, but
yeah. I just want them to have choice. That's my thing.
I'm not saying that you're monogamous because the woman wants that and that's the way it has to be. I'm saying that you're going to have a more fulfilled life and a better purpose if you have a mutually respective relationship with a woman when you have children and you are a family unit. If I
see, that's his take, and more power to him. But he realized he lost the argument. This dude sat back and listened to what Myron and Fresh are saying, and he's like, "Uh-oh, they got me. Checkmate." He realized he lost the argument. I mean, if I'm dude, I'll just say, "Hey, man, this is just what's good for me." And Myron's like, "Great, right? Absolutely great, outstanding. I'm glad it's working for you and your wife. That's what's up." But for those men who want more, they can get it so long as they're honest, they're upfront about it. There are women out there who will accept it and they will be cool with it. They won't even trip. And he's like, "Well, you'll be more fulfilled if you just have one wife and a bunch of kids." Maybe you will. But there's guys out there who's like, nah. And how do we know this? Go back, just look back through the history of America. These guys out here have, you know what I mean, a family on the north side of town, the south side of town, the east and the west side of town. They got like 4 families out there. And you know what I mean? And the main woman didn't know because he couldn't tell her the truth. But everyone else would know, and they would be in the church. You know, all these deacons and stuff like that, and these preachers having kids all over the place. Come on, man. It's hard to get away from that human nature. You have to know yourself. I know I want to be in a monogamous relationship. I know that. How do I know that? Because I was in the trenches for so long. I was able to figure out exactly what I want. So I can go out and do it. I'm not doing it because society says I need to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm doing it because that's what DL Saint wants. I already know. I'm telling you the truth. The reason I don't want multiple women because it takes a lot of work, bro. This is keeping 100. I don't have that kind of energy. It takes too much work. That's why. That's why I don't want to do it. It's a personal choice. This dude right here, he's like, he wants to be monogamous. And he's saying, if you live like me, you're going to be happy like me. That's not true. That's not true. But he did lose this argument, right? Myron, you know, gets to engage in debates on this topic all the time. And he's, you know, I've talked to 100 dudes with this ideal. And it's just like, hey, man, whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, great. But in America, if you ain't up on things, you get married, you're looking at least 50%, 48 point something percent chance that marriage is going to end in divorce, right? That's just how it works. 50%, we accept 50% chance that your marriage is going to end in divorce. And of the 50% of people who don't get divorced, those aren't happy relationships either. Not all of them. There's probably another 25%. I'm just making up that number, guy. I don't have any stats on that part, but there are people who are unhappily married and they're living apart and they, you know, basically roommates. It is what it is. They don't want to go get the legal divorce because they don't want to deal with the court and pay all the money and have to split everything up. They just work it out amongst themselves or whatever, but they're still legally married. I'm not against marriage. I'm just, you know, but I got to give it to Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit is simply saying these guys should know what time it is, understand how this works, and they can make their own decision. If you do the work, if you become that guy the way you can choose who you want and what kind of relationship you want, then you can choose that. Do what you want to do. Be with who you want to be with. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But so many dudes are pressured into believing they got to pick the one and be in this monogamous relationship. And now they're lying. This relationship is built on a lie. They're out here running 3 or 4 other chicks, you know, or more, right? They got a girl put up in a house over here. They putting some girl through school over there. You know what I mean? They got some women in different countries. The whole time the wife is thinking like it's just the 2 of them and they're just happily together. And you know, that's my Prince Charming and he's mine alone. And then one day she finds out. and she is utterly crushed. It happens to men too. There are dudes out there who are monogamous and everything, and then one day they find out that their woman was out there doing their thing, and then they get crushed, right? Some of them get divorced, some of them don't, some of them off themselves, some of them don't. I mean, it is what it is. So you better be getting exactly what you want in a relationship. You better. It's just bottom line. Bottom line. You know what I mean? And Brother Cody's right. You are absolutely right. Lady Navo's in the building. What's good, sis? So glad you're here. Always a pleasure to see you. You know what I mean? But it's hard out there, man. Relationships are really, really difficult, man. And like I said, freedom is ugly. We got a lot of freedoms in the way that our laws are set up over here. Someone's going to get crushed if you wind up in family court. She was like, I ain't like Fresh and Fit. No, I'm not. I'm not like Fresh and Fit. You know what I mean? I get that. You know, but I do agree with, and I am on board wholeheartedly with, you know, getting men up to speed on how things are right now. And women need to understand that too. Women need to understand that, you know, everyone's not a 10. Every woman's not a 10. Y'all need to accept that. You need to, you know what I mean? If you want certain things, you're going to have to achieve certain things to get that. Like real talk, like you're going to have to make concessions. You're going to have to bust your butt. You're going to have to do without. If you know, so many women just like, I'm going to get it all. I just deserve it because of this, down the third. No, that's not how it works. That's just, ladies, y'all need to understand that. Right? Just like dudes need to understand how this works. Ladies, y'all need to understand that. Ladies, if you out there letting a bunch of men just smash you, and you out there with the 304 uniform and all that, it's going to hurt you when you finally find a guy, a top tier guy. When he sees all that, it is going to hurt you. Bro, he is not going to just blow that off. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, that's okay. It's okay. You had a gangbang with 15 dudes. It's okay that you blew the whole football team. He's not going to say. And these young girls, these young women, some of these middle-aged and older women are doing the same thing. They put it on their phone. It's in the cloud. It's going to pop up, right? And someone's going to be like, oh, you marrying her? Look at this, bro. Oh, I can't be with her. It's one of those things, man. It is one of those things. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, sis. You always, you know what I mean? Always insightful, so eyes and make me smile. Let's continue.
I go out tomorrow and go bang some women, and I go home and I tell my wife, she wouldn't deal with it, but like I'm saying that the level of respect that I would lose was worth the damage that it would do to my family as a unit. So
yeah, but you did it backwards, man. You got to tell her up front. You can't tell her after the fact.
The monogamy is not because it's what you want to do or because it's what
if
she
you told her
wants.
that in the onset of the relationship?
If she was fine with it,
that's my point.
Again, if she's fine with it, that's the freedom. I question whether or not like that's maybe there are some women where that I haven't seen it done well. Is what I'm saying. I've not seen that model done.
Most women will share a man if the guy is high value enough. That's a dirty secret that women will never ever admit. It depends on the kind of woman that you're talking about, and that's I think we keep circling back to that. It depends on the kind of woman that you're talking about.
I'll give you this.
So nah, bro. No, bro. It depends on the kind of woman. It always circles back to that. Not my woman. Not my woman. You know, it is what it is, man. People want what they want. Like it could be your woman. She might be good at keeping it a secret. It's in her closet, bro. Don't go in her closet. Don't worry about it. So long as she doesn't disrespect. One of my dudes that asked me about this, and this is one of my sayings, man. I'm like, love me enough. If you're gonna cheat on me, love me enough that you don't get caught. Can you do me that favor? Love me enough that I just stay in this ignorant bliss, this bubble I've created. Because if I find out you cheating on me, it's over. Ain't no do-overs, ain't no second. I'm not getting crazy. I'm not beating nobody up. I'm not mad at the dude. He doing what he's supposed to do. Right? Because if you were me, you would dime. I ain't mad at that. And then a lot of women be like, well, I was just mad at you because you gave me a hard time about going to girls' night weekend. We was going to all go see Keith Sweat or something. You didn't want me to go. So yeah, I said Keith Sweat. Yeah, I'm old. You didn't want me to go. So I'm mad at you. So I smashed this dude that I met at Starbucks. Oh, okay, that's cool. So can you forgive me? Can we go to counseling? No, we're done. We're done. Because I can never trust you again. The relationship's supposed to be based on trust. If you told me when you met me that you're going to keep smashing dudes and I agreed to it, then we ain't got a problem, right? But you didn't. You told me it was just gonna be me and you against the world, right? That's what you told me. And I believed you. And now you got caught. So now go on out there and do your thing. I ain't mad. It is what it is. Like Juice said it right. All girls are the same. As FA is in the building. It's good, FA, making me retired and y'all. Now the FAA is stalking me. It's all good. But yeah, man, love me enough to where you don't get caught, man. Keep me, you feel me? Like just keep me in the dark. Keep me in the dark, right? So, but there are a lot of dudes out there, a lot of men out there who I'm just gonna suppress my urges and I'm gonna do this and do that. And then at the end of the day, guess what? They give in to those urges, right? Because that's who they are. They don't know themselves. We talk about that, man. You got to know yourself, man. Know yourself, know your enemy. Sun Tzu. Again, I'm not calling women the enemy. I'm not calling your goals and the rest of the world your enemy, but you need to know these things, bro. You need to know it. So this next part, it's another clip out here, man. We're just gonna watch a couple minutes of this clip. This was from a Fresh and Fit call-in show, and one of the guys called in there was talking about the truth about 304s being redeemed with religion, right? These born again virgins and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term. I am, right? And I mean, it is what it is. Myron has some good points on this as well. The guy that he was talking to was a dude who was like, yeah, he found his faith and he was able to redeem himself. And this guy did like 10 years. He had to sit down for 10 years, bro. Like this dude, they're just gonna be talking on the phone. This guy was like, yeah, man, I spent 10 years in jail and, I was a different type of person, but then I found the Lord or I found a religion, whatever he found, and he turned his life around. Outstanding. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's great. For those out there who turn yourselves around, man, that's what's up. Right. So he was asking about women. So what about these women who, the quote unquote reformed 304, like the born again virgin? What about them? Well, Myron had a take on that as well. So let's check it out.
Of course.
And like I actually did change my life. I did 10 years in prison, bro. 10 straight years.
Well, here's the thing, bro. I acknowledge that religion is absolutely a fail safe for a lot of people. It guides them to the light. But my thing is, you can impose your religious will on others. So what I tell people, if you're religious, you're close with God, that's fantastic for you. But you can't expect society to adhere to that same devotion to God. And that's why I tell guys, when you meet a girl, even if she's devoted to God at the time or she's traditionally conservative or whatever, she always reserves the right to regress back to feminism, to regress back to this whole equality mindset bullshit and take you to the divorce courts. A lot of the times religion is a facade that females employ to get the guy that they want. Once they secure the ring, boom, it's back to, they take the mask off like fucking Future, and now they're taking you through the divorce court. Now they're a feminist all of a sudden. So religion is great for your own personal development and situation, but you can't expect to put that spirituality on other people. And that's that religious mantra and that devotion to other people. And I think that's a big thing that people are super religious, like kind of, it's a big mistake they make. Is like they find God, they find the Bible, they find the Quran, they find whatever religion, the Torah, whatever it may be, and they're like, oh my God, this is life changing. And they hope and pray that everyone else has that revelation. A lot of the times they don't. Unfortunately, for most men, women's religion nowadays is Instagram, social media, and validation from external factors like men. It's no longer children and a husband. Most women want to get married, but they don't want to be wives.
No, you're absolutely right.
I mean, man, Myron, I gotta give it to him, bro. I gotta give it to him. That's facts. Right. Attention is a religion now, bro. Attention is a new religion. People want it, not just women. Men and women want it. They worship it. Attention. You look at social media, you can't pry someone's phone out of their hands. It's a problem, man. They worship it, man. It's like a God is a false idol for you religious types. And you have a lot of people, like if you take someone like me, with the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have, you turn me loose in a church with my knowledge of that religion, right? A Christian church. You turn me loose in there with my knowledge of the Bible. With my knowledge, I've read all the texts. I read them all the time. Torah, the Bible, the Quran. right? I read them all. I'm starting to get into like Hindu stuff now, right? I read them all. If you turn me loose in the church, man, I will wreak havoc. It wouldn't be fair. It would not be fair, bro, because I can present to these unsuspecting women the guy that they're looking for, they're in the church looking for. And I'll know, like, man, I know she a 3 or 4, her and her. I know what they've been. I know that type of woman. It's just, I can just run through the church, man. And then go to another church and do the same thing. It's horrible. The church is full of women. There are no men in church. Ask anybody who goes, there's no men in there. There are women. Only men in the church are the men who are married and the gay dudes. Right. And then you got some of these dudes in there who are hunting. Right. And there's some women in there hunting as well. They're hunting for someone else's husband. Right. They're hunting for someone else's boyfriend. Trust me when I tell you. So this whole religious thing is great for the individual, man. I am in 100% agreement with what Myron said. Religion is great. Anything that's going to help you better your life, in my opinion, is great. Use that. Become a better person. But understand that what you took from that religious experience, you can't force or give or bestow upon someone else. It's just like this whole red pill thing. I can't force some dude to become red pill. I can't force some dude to take this information. I can't. They have to want to take it on their own. And then once they decide to take that step, then we can help them find the correct path or find what they need to better themselves, right? That's how that works, man. But if you're out there with a woman and she has a 2,000 body count, but now she's a born again virgin, be careful with her, man. Be careful. It's just bottom line, be careful. You must vet people simply because you guys are in the same faith or in the same building under the same roof or in the same, outdoor pavilion worshiping the same God does not mean that she's the one for you. You still must vet that woman. And that's all that they're talking about. Right? That's all they're talking about. That's all that Myron and Fresh is talking about. That's all that Donovan Sharp, when you really peel it all back, that's all that Rollo Tomasi and Rich Cooper, that's all they're talking about, man. Understand what's going on so you can properly vet the woman that you are pursuing. And women, y'all should be doing the same thing. Understand what's going on so you can properly vet the man. Understand that. Understand if you're dealing with a top tier guy that he has options. And if he wants to, he can exercise those options. Kevin Samuels talked about it all the time. It makes perfect sense to me. Right? It makes perfect sense. Simple as that. So there's so many people who get wrecked because they go into a church situation or they go into a mosque or they go into, whatever they go into, right? They go in a temple and they run across the wrong woman. You must vet those women. The Bible talks about it. The Old Testament really harps on it. The New Testament, they talk about this sort of thing. Look at what happened to Samson. Look what Delilah did to Samson, right? And Samson was just a dude who loved 304s. Delilah was the one. She was the one. She was the hot girl. She was the Instagram model today. And the men came to her and said, hey, we'll pay you if you can get that man over there, Samson, to tell us his secrets so we can defeat him. It's a Bible story. I ain't make it up. Uncle Saint ain't make that up. It's a Bible story. Samson was in the 304s, bro. That whole thing when he killed all those men with the jawbone of an ass. Yeah, it was over a girl. Right? It was over that. He was out there doing his thing. Right? Delilah was paid by the men to go in there and get this information. And she kept asking him, and he kept telling her lies, and she kept asking. Eventually, he told her the truth. And the rest is history, as they say, right? So simply because they're in the church, simply because these women are, quote unquote, wholesome or whatever, they present that, you still got to vet. You still got to know what you're doing. You got to be careful. The Bible is full of precautionary stories, talking about women, talking about men, talking about lustful people. King David had a man killed so he can have his wife. King David did that, right? While building a temple, while doing God's work. Come on now. Y'all need to understand that. If you want to get into religion, get into it. Know what it is. Uncle Saint, man, I talk to everybody. And Brother Cody was saying no, and he was saying no about can a 304 be a born again virgin? No. Hilarious. JJ's in the building. What's good? He's out just laughing. Welcome, JJ. I think it's the first time I've seen you here. Welcome. Good to see you. And Lady Navoa, she's thinking. Right? Y'all got to be careful with that, man. You know what I mean? And that was a quick piece. We wanted to talk about that with the can the 304 be reborn? Man, look. Like, I mean, it is what it is. And then there's some more from TimCast and that guy from TimCastIRL. There's another one we're gonna look at here. Myron Red Pill Tim on how women forced men to change. And that's what it is. Big up to you, JJ. What's good, fam? Big up. Good to see you. So let's pull this one up, which was a pretty good one. They talked about what's going on with sexual access, who's having sex, who's not having sex. And again, the same guy was there from before. So this was a pretty good, I thought this was a really good segment to watch and listen to. So let's check this out. Again, shout out to TimCastIRL, shout out to FreshandFit. You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
I want to address this because I agree on the you're better off not being as promiscuous. I understand what you guys are saying though. And I think I'm curious. It sounds like you guys are saying, hey, this is the way the world is. You have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
And your view is more like, no, we should not be engaging in these things. But let me show you this graphic from the Washington Post. This is an article that has been around for some time. Young men driving the decline in sex. Share of men and women between the ages of 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the past. 28% of men, 18% of women. And that skyrockets. That deviation really comes into effect around 2009, 2010. I think the internet plays a big role in this.
Huge.
But first, there's something to be said about this. Men and women have to have sex with each other for the most part. If men are not having sex at all and women are having sex, obviously there's a point to be made about maybe the women are having sex with each other or something like that. But I don't think that's a large component of what we're seeing here. I think the issue is the women mostly are still having sex at comparable levels to what they've always done. Men not having sex is skyrocketing. That says that these women, they're having sex with a particular group of men and
Boom.
So right. So here's what I think. I think a portion of men are being slowly removed from the dating pool.
Yep.
Women are maintaining the amount of sex they've always had.
Yep.
That's an interesting social dynamic.
Absolutely.
And that's spot on. It goes back to, 80% of men, women find undesirable. They are invisible. 80% of men are invisible to most women. And people always talk about the numbers. They're the numbers. I mean, the numbers are out there. Women are still having sex in this, the same percentage that they've always had. Men are not. Right? Men are not getting sex. The amount of guys who are sexless and alone and invisible are skyrocketing. That's why you got people like Scott Galloway who's out here talking about this. This is a crisis. That's a very, very bad thing. You got these dudes who are invisible and they can't get none, right? And they're sitting around in these echo chambers now because of this technology that we've created. And they're hearing this same negative stuff over and over and over and over again. Eventually, they're going to act on it, bro. When they're surrounded by, violence, and they've never personally experienced violence, but they look at violent acts. They look at it on TV. They see it in movies, right? Our sports are violent. I'm going to be watching some violence here in about an hour or so, man. Can't wait to watch the game tonight, right? It's hyper violence on these video games. And these are young men. They're a lot of them, their brains aren't completely developed. They've never gone outside. They don't know how to deal with people. How does that manifest itself, man? In very, very bad ways. Very, very bad ways. They go out there and they do horrific things and they hurt people and they hurt themselves. Right? So, but women are still having sex in the same number. So what are they doing? They're smashing the same dudes. Right? Women find 80% of men unattractive, right? And they don't see them. Most women don't see those guys. Who do they see? They see the top 20. They see the top 15, the top 10. And that's who they're going after. Their whole world, right, their whole world is encompassed in that. So when you talk to a woman, she's like, yeah, well, the average guy's like 6 feet, right? Why? Because every dude she deals with is 6 feet. Every guy she sees, every guy she wants is 6 feet or higher, or taller or close to it. When they ask guys, oh, well, how much money do you think the average man makes? I don't know, like 100,000, 200,000. Why? Because all the dudes that she mess with, right? That's how much they make, or they have the appearance of that type of money, right? They have the social proof, man. They're accepted. They're on the scene. They popping bottles. Look like they're popping bottles. Somebody else is paying for it, or the bottles are comped. But she doesn't know the difference. That's just what she's into. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's who she wants, that's who she wants. If you're a dude at the bottom, then you need to do the work and get and drag yourself out the basement, right? And get up to that top 20%. Simple as that. When you talk to young women and older women too, when you talk to people, and it doesn't matter what the woman looks like. A lot of guys are like, well, they're just unreasonable, man. She's ugly. I don't care if she's a 1, I don't care if she's a 10, and all between. They all want the same dude, bro. Why not? Why not? Why not? JJ's right. Yeah, it seems that way. It is becoming about money. It seems that way. And a lot of women kind of look to that. It's with the woman, though, it's not that she has to have the bread. It's just the experiences that money can bring. So she's just she just wants to go to the nicest restaurant. She wants to go to the coolest concerts. She wants to ride in the most exotic cars or the nicest cars. Those things take money. But it's not like, well, gimme. She just likes the experience, man. I'd rather sit on leather than sit on cloth, right? I'd rather be in a Mercedes than be in a Kia. There's nothing wrong with Kias, but I'd rather be in that Mercedes, right? Rather be in the Rolls, rather be in the Bentley. I'd rather be in the M8, right? And that's me as a dude. So what do you think women are gonna be thinking? It's not the end all to be all, bro. So, but I get that, because now with social media, the stuff that they're saying to get clout, the stuff that they're saying to get that attention. Remember, that's a new religion now. That's like something they worship. Yeah, they're gonna say what they think they need to say, and be standing there with stacks of cash and throwing and all that. I get all that, bro. But them same chicks are getting, you know what I'm saying, getting their backs blown out by some broke dude who just got game. Brother Tez is in the building. What's good, fam? Yep, and you're right. Like what they can provide for her, absolutely. And brother JJ, listen, like I'm assuming you're a brother. Hey, brother JJ, you're right. But there's nothing wrong with that. Don't hold that against them. Right? Don't hold it against them. It is what it is. If that's what you know what I mean. But you have to understand what's going on so you can maneuver around it, because you definitely want to filter that type of woman out. There are women out there who don't care about money. There are women out there who don't care about things. There are women out there who have no idea that a Birkin bag is an Hermes bag. There's women out there that have no idea. They don't know who makes red bottoms. They have no idea, and they don't care. There are women out there like that, right? Don't let social media and don't let your bubble have you believing that every single woman is the same. That's not the truth, right? And then like the passport bros, well, American women are trash, so I'm going to Colombia. Oh, okay. Because American women here, they just run in my pockets. They just finessing me. Oh, they're not going to finesse you in Colombia. Okay. Like, good luck with that, bro. You know what I mean? Let me know how that turns out, Airborne. You need game. You need to be able to filter out so you know who you're dealing with. You need that experience. So when Myron was talking about having sex with 50 women, he's just talking about having the experience so you can learn what traits certain type of women possess. So it can kind of, let me dig a little deeper on this one right here. Like she did some stuff that's kind of 304-ish. Let me see what's going on. Or this woman's wearing a 304 outfit, but she doesn't look comfortable. Let me see what's going on with her. I've been out and about and I see women dressed a certain way, and it's like you don't even look comfortable. Like, why are you dressed like that? And then you come to find out that that's the first time she's ever put on an outfit like that, and one of her 304 friends talked her into it, and she's uncomfortable. And if you know how to run a little bit of game, and when I say game, y'all remember when I talk about game over here, substitute the word understanding for game. If you have the understanding, like, because when I came across that woman, I'm like, you're uncomfortable. You know what I said to her? I was like, look, baby, that's not you. And I was pointing to her friends, like, that's not you. You don't have to be like them. Let me take you home so you can change and be comfortable. Maybe we can go see a movie or something. This is back in the day when we actually went to go see movies and stuff like that, right? And she was like, thank you. Yes, please, please. Well, tell your girls, Here go my information right here, man. Tell your girls, you know what I mean? I'm finna take it. Her girls knew who I was. This is back home. This is back in Ohio. You know what I mean? Tell them you and me. Took her home. She changed, man. She put on some nice slacks, little blouse and shit. You know what I'm saying? She had a little cleavage, but it was still, you know what I mean? It wasn't 304-ish. She just had a little bit of cleavage. It was sexy. And we went and saw a movie. You know what I'm saying? Me and her kicked it for a minute. It was fun. It was great. But I was able to see that she was uncomfortable. So sometimes simply because she's wearing a 304 uniform does not mean she's a 304. You know what I mean? A little shorty now, she got a husband and kids, bro. She learned that night, like, I can leave them girls alone. Right? So you got to be up on that. You know what I mean, brother JJ? He was like, I understand why they would even see it like that. Yeah. Absolutely. He said, you can see it. Yeah. As a man, you know, if you know what you're doing, but again, you have to, there's a lot of work you got to do as a man, right? There's a lot of things we need to know. Right. And then, like I said, you can have a woman who comes out there and looks like Sister Teresa, bro. She looks like the Virgin Mary herself. And that shit could be the biggest 304 ever. It goes both ways. You got to be able to sit down and talk to them and see what it is. Like, ooh, nah, she freaky. You know what I mean? All right, I see what it is. All right, nah. It's daddy's girl right here. What's your father do? Oh, he's a preacher. Oh, yeah. Been there, done that. Smashing, you know what I mean? Smashing the preacher's daughter right out front of her house in the car. Right? You're like, did not think for a moment that she was like that. I didn't think for a moment. Like, I'm in there running that game thinking like, I got me a good one. This is the one you want to wife up. 2 hours later, man, we out front of her house, man, in a car. Like, yo, pop's right there. He gonna come out here with some holy water and burn me with it. Right? It's you have to be aware. You have to be able to understand this. And how do you understand it? You understand it by being in the trenches and getting the experience. You know what I mean? But as a matter of fact, hold on. I got a story.
Everybody,
you ready for this?
Sit down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
This was in Miami. This was on was it called Tobacco Road? Not Tobacco Road, but that's the name of a bar. But this was in Miami, near South Beach, off of Collins. I forget the name of the street. This used to be a popping little area back in the day. If anybody from Miami's in here, help me out with it. It's the one joint just off of Collins, and it went east-west. I forget the name of the street. But anyway, it used to have all these little lounges and bars and everything. It was popping. It was Halloween weekend. Bro, if you've never been to Miami on Halloween weekend, you need to treat yourself. It is crazy. Anytime during Miami, during the month of October is cool, but like on Halloween weekend, man, it is crazy. All those beautiful women, they dressing up. So this woman dressed up in like, I don't know who she was. Maybe Lady the Godiva or something like that. Cause she had this long, beautiful black hair. She had 2 pasties on her breast, and she had like this little, it just something big enough, it looked like a leaf that covered, you know what I mean? That covered her Foxy Brown. You feel me? That's all she had on. Her body was one of the best bodies I've ever seen in my life. That's all she was wearing. G-string, the little leaf thing on front, 2 pasties. And when she got out of her vehicle with her friends, again, she's with her whole friends, she was all, I'm looking good, I'm looking sexy. Within 15 minutes, the look on her face was pure terror. She realized that she was in danger. You out here, it's Halloween night, you in Miami, and they were immediately surrounded by like 10 or 15 drunk dudes, man. I sat back there and watched that woman, man, dudes was reaching in, and she did not think that through. Her friends set her up to fail and fail bad that night. She went from being all confident, look at me, I'm sexy, to, oh my God, there are piranhas everywhere. And they were just, man, I lost track of her. There were no dudes with them. It was just like 4 or 5 girls. She was with 4 or 5 girls. There was no dudes with them. I assumed she got out of that situation. This was before Uber. So I assumed they was able to get to their car, or maybe call up some men to come protect them. Because she certainly didn't have any weapons on her. She didn't have any mace or nothing. She didn't have no bear spray. She ain't had nothing. I could see everything she had. It was a really bad idea. And when she realized, I felt bad for her. I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad for her. That poor woman. Because she just wanted to go out and have a good time. She thought she looked good. She did look good. She looked amazing. But you went out in public like that. That was, I mean, and she was absolutely petrified, bro. Absolutely petrified. And I saw that. I mean, I sat back, I watched that whole thing unfold. And no, I didn't go over there and like, hey, let me be Captain Save-A-Ho. No, I ain't do that. No, sir. I'm not getting between a lion and his food. Them dudes was drunk and they saw that. And it was a Latin thing too. It was a lot of Spanish being spoke, bro. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't my business. I hope she got out of that. I hope she got out of that. You know what I mean? Brother Cody was saying women will walk around in the snow just like that around here. Yeah, he's like 3 or 4s are immune to temperature. Hilarious. Hilarious. Brother Penny Jules in the building. What's good, bro? Is it Mid Beach on 41st? Nah, I'm gonna have to look it up, man. It's not Mid Beach though. And this, the name of the street, if I could just remember it, it was legendary back in the day. Not so much now. It's not the same now, but back then it was legendary, bro. It was like maybe a half a block away from Hamburger Baby. And it, like I said, it was just a cool little, people used to go to it all the time. It was kind of like a little alternative to actual Collins and Miami Beach. Like it was just like a little alternative to that, man, right off of Collins, man. God, I just can't remember the name of it. Cheaply advertising yourself and found buyers. What a shock. Facts. It wasn't Linux, but that is, it's something with an L. Not Linux though, but it has an L. Something way, something way. I can't remember, bro, but thanks. We'll figure it out. Something with an L, but yeah, Brother Cody is right. Cheaply advertising yourself and you found buyers. What a shock. And dude, I hope she got it out safely. And I hope she learned from that. I did feel bad for that woman, but bro, I was like, if I knew them and they looked at me like, come help, I'd have been like, Flavor Flav, I can't do nothing for you, man. Who told you to come out the house like that? I'm sorry, bro. And that's when people get mad. You can't tell me what to wear. All right, then go wear what you want. But don't call me to come pick up the pieces when it's over, man. Don't call me to come down there, right, and deal with a bunch of drunk dudes. Don't do that in Miami. Nah, man. Nah, man. Something way. Man, it was like on the tip of my tongue. I almost had it too, the name of that street. Lincoln Road. Lincoln Road. That's what it was. It was Lincoln Road. It was Lincoln Road. That Lincoln Road used to be the joint back in the day. Lincoln Road. That's what it was. It was at the top of Lincoln Road. And I will never forget the look on that woman's face, man. And she had to be like 23, 24, somewhere in there. Like she was beautiful though, man. Beautiful. It's Miami. I don't know what she was thinking. Yeah, it was Lincoln Road. That's the name of it. That's the name of it, bro. They used to have a whole bunch of cool little bars, restaurants, lounges. Yeah, this was back in the day. This was back at 2009 to about 2012-ish or something like that. Oh, he said it's still lit. Brother Penny, like it's still lit. All right, cool. Yeah, it was Lincoln Road, bro. It's Lincoln Road, man. Yo, Brother Penny, you down in Miami, man? You down there in the day? If you are, man, let me know, bro, because we're going to be down there next month. We're going to be down there next month. So, but yeah, man, that was just so bad. But let's get back to the video. My bad. I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent. Let's go back to the video.
It's huge.
And that plays a huge role. I'm really glad you brought this up because that plays a huge role as to what women think they deserve. So unfortunately, a woman that's average looking to maybe a little above average looking has the same sexual marketplace value and pull as a guy that's damn near a celebrity. Why? Because of the advent of the internet, Instagram, etc. An average girl can hang out with extraordinary men. That plays a huge role in their psyche of what they think they deserve and the type of man that they think they're capable of attracting. But what they make the mistake of doing is they think just because I can attract this guy doesn't necessarily mean they can retain that guy. But that plays a huge role because girls think they deserve better. If you ask an average woman, what she's going to describe to an exceptional man, and even more so thanks to feminism. Women earn money, they have their own status, they have their own cars, they have their own ability to provision for themselves. So since they're able to get all these things themselves, they no longer need a dutiful, responsible, leadership-driven man because they're like, yo, I just want the hot guy now. I can provision for myself. Let me ask you this, right? If you had a hot girl that was with you at all times that would give you fellatio. She was hot. She would give you sex whenever you want, etc. Would you seriously go out there on dates with women that you didn't like that or tolerate the BS? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, get out of here. I don't want to deal with you. But that's how women are with their jobs and their money. Women effectively have their own provisioning, so they don't need to deal with the majority of men. So therefore, they only want to deal with the top 10 men, the top 10, top 20% of men. This is why so many guys are out of the sexual marketplace. It's the same situation. If you had a bad chick with you at all times, you would not tolerate female BS. You wouldn't. That's how women feel about their job.
Facts. Women can provision for themselves, right? They have their own job. They have their own money. They can get their own home. They don't have to share that home with anyone. They don't have to share their money. They don't have to share their wealth or provisioning with anyone. And they can call 911 and they get protection. The government protects them, right? So it's cool. And this is great. I'm not mad. I'm not talking down on it. Simply stating the facts. So you have to be an extraordinarily accomplished dude to get a woman who already has that stuff. Right. And it makes sense. She's going to want to get the best. There are not a lot of women out there who want to take care of dudes. You see it. There are people like, man, I see it all the time. Blah, blah. You might see it, but that's temporary. Women don't really want that. And yes, there are going to be some outliers. There's going to be some women out there who got with a guy, just took care of the guy, and it's like, whatever. It is what it is. They just do it. Right. But even those women who taking care of some deadbeat dude, they'll come up against some dude on a random night. They're mad about something. They're real frustrated with the guy. He can't get it together. Right. And they'll kick him out for a weekend or something because they found out he done smashed one of her friends or whatever, kick him out. And then she'll be out, just feeling bad. She wants to feel good about herself, and she'll bump into a dude, a top tier dude who will smash, because that's what she wants. Right. Women are the gatekeepers to the Foxy Brown. They're the gatekeepers to sex. She will smash, but she won't be able to lock that top tier guy down. She won't. He'll find out about the deadbeat. Right. He'll find out about her ex, if she got kids or not. He'll talk to her and she'll say some things that he just doesn't quite like, or she's just not as beautiful as he wants. Like, yeah, dudes are smasher too. Any guy out there who knows anything about womanizing, they done smashed some twos. They got some baddies, you know what I mean, in their roster, and they got some not so baddies in their roster, right? Some straight big girls. They got some big girls or some ugly girls with body. We've all been there. I can't tell you how many times I done snuck something into the crib and out the crib, out the back door. Can't tell you how many back doors and back windows I done climbed into to be with some, you know what I mean? Some girl, like, she may not be pretty, but boy, oh boy, she got that thing. Can't tell you how many times. But could those women, the big girls or the ugly women, could they lock me down long term? Nah, I wasn't looking for that. You know what I mean? Yep. And Brother Cody is right. He's like, yeah, some dudes are just looking for a free parking spot, man. Just for the night, bro. They ain't trying to get a ticket. FA's like, everyone's had a big one. In and out. Facts. I see you. Facts. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's just how it goes. You know what I mean? My man Jay Swans, what does it say? Everyone can't be a home run, bro. Every at-bat can't be a home run. Facts. Sometimes you got to bunt, right? Sometimes you hit you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to leg it out. Sometimes the catcher drops it, the third strike, you just run down there and get it, right? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But women today truly don't need men. Especially here in America, they don't, bro. If they got themselves together, man, they got the degree, they're making the money, they're making 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year. They don't need men. And there are women out there who are making the money, will still go out, get into a relationship, have a baby, and then run guys through the family court thing and get another $20,000 on top of that. Or whatever it is, 15, 20, whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 grand, depends on what dude she got. That is a thing. It can happen. Right now, I will say this: they're not women out there like that's not the norm. Women aren't out there having kids just so they can get child support from some dude who's making 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year. But there are some who do. Right. And again, you have to have the experience to know what you're dealing with. And like I said before, when you go out there, you have to have a clear mind. You might have the experience and you might have put the time in, but if your mind ain't right, you'll go out here and get caught up with the wrong one, bro. Trust me, they are hunting just like you are hunting. You could get caught up, man. You can get caught up. Just like in Avatar, and they had that big old bird thing or whatever, that predator bird thing, and the guy went above it because the bird thing was the biggest apex predator there. And the guy from Avatar was like, yeah, that thing never looks up because there's nothing bigger. He's not worried about something attacking it from above because he's attacking everything. So you out there attacking everything, man, she might be above you, looking down on you. The only way to gain this knowledge is to get out there in them streets, man, is to get out there in them trenches. You know what I mean? So that's why Myron says 50 bodies. He came up with that number for a reason. I think he's going to talk about it here in a second. Sometimes you were talking to the wrong sister. Oh, well, yeah, sometimes you were, bro. Sometimes. That's a great fact right there. Facts. Facts. Sometimes you were talking to the wrong sister. Let's continue.
So, and to add this point as well, with the advent of social media, if you look at Instagram per se, I would say that's the biggest dating app in the world, because in the back pocket of Instagram, DMs, women have access to, I want to say, a plethora of guys at their fingertips. So it's like, okay, if it's not give me what I want, if it's not a high value leader, why do I want this guy? And most guys are not that.
And a lot of guys that might share your values, which I agree with 1,000%, will get overlooked because, oh, you're not attractive enough for me. Oh, you don't have enough clout for me, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of guys that are traditionally masculine, attractive guys, right, that might have been attractive 50, 60 years ago, they're overlooked because women want the bigger, better deal. And they're like, I don't care that you have these traits because I can do it myself. So since they're doing that, it's done is it's deregulated the sexual marketplace. It's deregulated the dating marketplace. Trust me, I wish we could go back to traditional families like the 1950s. I talk about this extensively, how the sexual marketplace has been ruined and we need to go back to how it was, but it never will. And so what we tell guys is, look, you got to adapt to the new normal. Now, with that said, I get what you're saying. Promiscuity affects both genders negatively. Yes, it does. Men to not to the same extent as women. However, guys need to go out there and get that experience and deal with these new women that are more promiscuous than ever before, because the women are absolutely hooking up with guys.
It is so bad.
Bro, I can't stress it enough, man. He ain't telling no lies. I wish Miss Globe Girl was here, man. Where you at, Miss Globe Girl? Where you at, Miss AKA Lady? You know what I mean? We got Lady Naveau up in here, and she's like listening. You know what I mean? I wish we had more women listening to this because they are not lying. And this is very, he's like, man, they're very matter of fact. Yeah, because it is what it is, man. It's like when I go out there and tell you, if we're standing outside and I tell you, hey, man, the sun is hot, fire is hot, and water is cold. I don't have to be animated about it. If you don't believe me, right? Touch this flame. I bet you it's going to hurt. Put your hand in that water over there. I bet you're going to feel cold. I don't have to get animated about it, bro. That's how it is out here now, man. They're speaking facts. 50 years ago, you ain't even got to go back that far, man. You can go back to this, well, yeah, I guess 50 years ago, right? Yeah, because I'm half a century now, right? 50 years ago. We didn't have this technology, man. Women had to choose locally, maybe regionally, but that was pretty much it. Most women didn't have a national option to, like, trying to hunt down guys. How could they do it? We didn't have the technology that allowed for that. So women were in their little town, their village, their city, maybe their state, you know what I mean? Or maybe their tri-state area, right? When you add in college, whatever, depending on how far away they went for college. But even with college, they came back home. Whatever they did at college, stayed at college, right? So they was out there. Even back then, women was getting it when they went to school now. Don't get it twisted. They was getting it when they went to school, went to Woodstock, went out there to Haight-Ashbury and all that, smoking weed and just free love, right? But then they came home and what did they do? They married their high school sweetheart. They had kids. They got a house and all that kind of stuff, and they raised their family. It's all good. They kept it in the closet, bro. Plausible deniability. But now the entire planet is in play. If you are an attractive woman, if you are a not so attractive woman with a big butt, you on Instagram, dudes from all over the world can hit you up. You have access, and they will be happy to fly you out. Women are getting flued out all over the place. Shout out to Lil Shorty who was on FreshandFit, who coined the phrase, flued out. All over the place. Guys are doing it, having their fun, sending them home. That didn't exist 50 years ago. Right? So, again, if you want the best that you can possibly get, all you got to do is get on Instagram. All these women got Instagrams, man, and the vast majority of women Instagrams are public. I love it when I meet a woman and she has a private Instagram. If she has Instagram at all. If she doesn't have Instagram, that's even better. But just private Instagram. Okay, cool. Cool. You know what I mean? That's not bad at all, right there. Public, you know what I mean? You got a private Instagram. Then you finally get into that Instagram. She accepts you, and there ain't nothing in there but pictures of her and her cats and dogs and family and friends. And there's no, you know what I mean? There's no twerking videos. There's no videos of her singing rap lyrics and talking crazy. There's no video. It's just her living her life. That's a good catch. How do you know these things? Because I'm out there. I was out there, and I know the difference now. I have experience. And that's what Myron is talking about. These dudes don't have experience. Yeah, Freak Nick, bro. Hey, Freak Nick was amazing, bro. I love Freak Nick. Aggie Fest, whoo, bro. Bro, them were the days. Now Freak Nick's every day. Go to Miami, it's Freak Nick every day. You know what I mean? For real. They wilding down there. Go to Miami and get a boat. You can go down there in Miami and get you a boat for like $500 an hour for 4 hours, right? You and 4 of your friends, and then you can have like 8 women on that boat with you. And bro, it's gonna be Freak Nick for real. They're gonna be popping it. You know what I mean? Twerking, all that kind of stuff, man. Man, look. Like I say, I'm a big fan of Miami, man. Let's get back to the video. Give me out.
So we have guys leaving America called passport bros to go abroad.
Yeah.
Find girls. If it wasn't that bad, they'd be here getting sex. But it's really that bad.
And I'll say one more thing. I get it. I'm not saying our solution is the best. There's negatives and pluses with everything.
Yeah.
There's always a give and take, right? But what I want is I prefer guys to get their money on point, have sexual experience with women, become that guy, adhere to these traits, and then choose down the road. You know what? I'm ready for a family now. I'm in a position where I can do it. I have enough money. I have enough status. I understand female nature. I'm in a position where my woman will respect me and follow my leadership, and then they can make that decision versus feeling pressured to do it in a new normal that isn't set up for them to win. So yes, there's negatives on both sides, but I'd rather the guy make that decision himself versus getting into a marriage and potentially losing everything.
But then wouldn't the solution be to be a passport bro? Well,
a lot of guys are taking that. A lot of guys are taking that route.
Let me clarify though. I don't actually know what the full term means. I've only just heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
But my assumption is there are guys who want a traditional, normal relationship, and they have to leave the country to find it. Is that what it means?
So
that's a component.
A lot of guys are struggling, as you can see from this graph here as well. And it's not by choice. They have to, because most girls don't want that type of guy. So they say, you know what? I have a solution to the problem. I'm going to leave America, where women are more stuck up, more like demanding. Go to Colombia, Philippines, anywhere else in the world that's more traditional. And okay, cool. Now I'm an American. My value is perceived a bit higher than most people here. So I'm the chosen one now. So now the options have changed, because as an American, you become the hierarchy there. So for the most part.
And shout out to Fresh hitting on the nail. Are there dudes out there who are looking to get married and they want to go to different cultures because those women tend to be more traditional minded, were raised to be feminine? Yes, that's part of it as well. You got to lump that into the whole passport bro movement. But the vast majority of guys in the passport bro movement now, I would say over the past 3 years, those guys, it's akin to sex tourism. Those guys are going where their value jumps up. It's like a cheat code. Their value pops all the way up, and they have access to women that they would not necessarily have access to here. Some of those guys pay, some of those guys don't. It's a mixture, right? Last Good Man in Jersey, like, we did a show because he loves the Philippines, and he has a beautiful woman over there that they're having a great relationship. He went to the Philippines to find a woman who was marriage minded, that was more traditional, that was feminine, and it was all about taking care of her man. That's what he was looking for, right? And that's what he found. Now, but there are guys out there who just want to go and blow. They just want to sleep with a baddie. So, all right, go to Medellin, right? You can go to Aruba. You can go, you know what I mean? You can go to Peru. You can go to Thailand. There are places you can go. And especially with guys who have no game, you go to these places, you're sought after. Now you're a top tier guy. And I'm telling you, for a lot of these dudes, that is a solution to the problem. But if you don't have any game, you're still going to get your pockets ran, right? You might not be successful right away trying to find that woman, that traditional woman who's going to marry you and take care of you. And a lot of these dudes get married, they bring them back to the States, and it's like, why did you do that, homie? You know what I mean? Now you're back to that 50% divorce rate. Now you're back to having to, lose everything in family court. So you should have stayed over there, player. You should have stayed over there. And Brother Pitney is saying that moving to raise your value is considered geomaxing. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of terms out there, but I mean, it is what it is. I've been using the passport forever. So when they came up with this whole passport bros thing, like, man, I've been traveling since the 90s, homie. You know what I mean? And y'all I was a passport bro before I had a passport. You could go to certain countries, all you needed was a birth certificate and a driver's license, right? That's how long I've been doing it. And I was just seeing new places and again, learning how things work in other locations. That's all I was doing. Same thing in America. I traveled all around America. I've been all kind of places doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Smashing, having good relationships. If I could do it in America, if I can get on in Greeley, Michigan, I can get on anywhere in the world, bro. Right? If I can get on in Oklahoma City, right? I can get on anywhere, bro. If I can get on in Biloxi, there's no place in America you can drop me that I can't get on. Why? Because I know what I'm doing. I got game. And that's what Myron's talking about. Go out there and understand what's happening, understand the rules. That's what Myron's talking about. And I agree with him. Men, y'all need to get out there and do that.
Guys want access to women, but they can't get it here, they'll go abroad.
So then I wouldn't say passport bro is a solution. My initial assumption is you can go to a country like Colombia where there's traditional values, but it sounds like what you're saying is it actually increases the perceived value as an American. So guys are going to go be
there's a multitude of reasons why
Yeah.
guys go, right?
Yeah.
Some guys go there to just hook up. Some guys go there to find a girlfriend. Some guys go there because the cost of living is lower. There's a multitude of different reasons. But the bottom line, it seems like the common denominator here is that women in the West in general typically are less marriageable than they were 50, 60 years ago.
And it's because they have more choices. As simple as that. They have more choices. You know, ain't nobody tripping on that. There was another video out there. I couldn't find it, but there was another video. When Myron was basically, that guy was asking Myron about that whole, you know, sleeping with X amount of women thing, and Myron explained. And I'll say that for another day. I'll save that one for another day. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I dropped a link in the chat a little while ago. But it's cool though, because I'm gonna wrap this up here pretty soon. Now, my daughter's feeling good now, and she's ready to she's ready to eat. I see in the back. Yo, Cody, is that you in the back, bro? I mean, look for the private chat. I think that is. It's like too late. Nah, it's cool. If that's you, Cody, I'll bring you up, man. Is that you though, or whoever's in the back? Let me see your face for a second. Oh, it's you, Cody? It's on. Here we go. So, yeah, man. It ain't never too late for you, homie. What's good, man? Cody's King is a building. What's good, man?
All right. Can you hear me okay? Or
Yeah, I got you, bro.
okay. Shit. What were you just talking? It was the marriageability of the women over here versus the passport bro thing.
Yeah, well, you know, Myron was saying that basically, you know, the average American woman, in his opinion, they're not the same when it comes to marriageability as they were 50 years ago. And the whole passport bro movement is, you know, there's some guys who go over there trying to find a woman that they can marry. There's some guys over there just looking to get sex. There's some guys over there just looking to be seen, right? So like it's so many different people. And then Brother Pitney was saying that you know, moving to raise your value is considered geomaxing. So we was like kind of talking about some terms. But yeah, that's what Myron was basically saying. He was like, you know, women in America, it's not the same woman today that it was 50 years ago.
Well, for sure. I think it's. I mean, for me, if I was going to do the passport thing, it would be over trying to find with an easier degree similar values, right? Because I think North America has gone to shit as far as I'm concerned. It's full of degeneracy, it's full of promiscuity. Like who wants to marry a whore, bro? Come on, seriously. Yeah. Would you be best friends with a guy who's going to stab you in the back or stabbed all his other friends in the back? It's ridiculous to me. So like the whole thing where like they are deserving of marriage, and that's silly. They're not. At least a large majority of them. Obviously not all. There are plenty of good girls out there. As far as the passport bro thing, I would actually argue it's by far easier to get laid in North America than it is anywhere else. Now, maybe there's a few countries here and there where that might be different, right? But sorry, go ahead.
Well, I got pushback for that right there. It's far easier for guys to get laid in North America who know what they're doing. But for guys who don't know, those bottom 80 dudes, I would argue it's way easier for him to come up in Mexico, the Philippines, or Colombia. You know what I mean? If Venezuela was safe, he would come up there. Cuba, you know what I mean? Like it's you still got to know what you're doing in North America to get on.
Isn't that more going to be like relying on the wallet? I mean, I guess there is like and I've talked about this before, just the aspect of being foreign, right? Is a huge attractant just in and of itself. Just that alone, you can get a mid to like a 4 or a 3 chick comes over from a different country, and if she's polite and has a nice accent, boom, she's like a 5 or a 6 just automatically. Yeah. It's just how it works around here. So I think it's a good strategy for the dudes. I think it's more certain countries that are going to be far more like the sex tourism thing, and I think we know which ones those are. A lot of these Asian countries, right? You know what goes on a lot there, and obviously certain places in Africa and stuff. But I still say it's easier to get laid in North America just because it's so much more, I guess, pushed and open, right? Like it's very big on the sexual freedom stuff here. Actually, it's almost like if you're not whoring yourself out, you're like what do you call
what's
it?
wrong with you?
You're depressing yourself, or what is it called? You're being oppressed, something like
being
that.
oppressed. You're giving in to the patriarchy, girl.
Yeah, silly.
Go out there and get your back blown out for the patriarchy.
Yeah, which doesn't help them in the end, right? But yeah, that was my argument. I think it's easier here, unless you're using your wallet, right? Because then you're going to get more bang for your buck. But at least from my travels, I've not noticed women being as promiscuous as, say, North American girls are. I think it's the culture.
I think a lot of it has to do with the culture. If we had a dude, let's say we had the average guy, he's not obese, but he's a few pounds, he has a few extra pounds. He doesn't have Brad Pitt, that drop dead gorgeous look, just average, he's like a 6, right? 7. He's a 7.
Right.
And you let me coach that dude up. We're going to say a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, bottom, a basement dweller, 10 being a super stud. If I got to coach him up to get on to have sex in America, I probably got to coach him up to like a 5, 6 in America, 6.5. But if he's in, say, Colombia or Mexico or some of the Asian countries, 3. I just got to coach him up to a 3. And we're taking the wallet out of it. And there's no money involved, just based on, hey, man, I'm just going to coach you up on, get your social skills together, teach you how to tell some little jokes, how to talk, when to talk, when not to talk, or whatever. But I would say a 3 gets you a good woman. You're going to have sex and have a good time, get you into a relationship. And I think it's a 6.5. You will need at least a 6.5, maybe a 7 in America.
I mean, you're talking about getting a good relationship, sure, being charming and all that, but I'm talking about more just like leaving the club with a bitch to go to the hotel across the street or even back to your place or her place. I think it's easier to do that than it has been for me in Europe, let's say. Okay. Not that it hasn't happened. It's just like, by far how much easier it is in North America. It's to the point where it's silly for me.
Yeah. And I guess what we're not even arguing, what we're debating here is what type of dude would have that success. And, like you look at, I'm not talking shit. Like you look at guys like you and I, we're not, I would put us in the top 20% only because we know what time it is. We know how to go out here and talk to women or whatever. We've had success, but most guys have not. And I just think that you gotta know a little bit more in America than you do, because it's kind of like the same thing you said about a woman who's a 5 or whatever. Some other countries comes to America, she has that accent, so it bumps her up 2 spots easy, right? I think it's the same thing for the guys.
I agree.
It bumps him up 2 spots because he's an American. He has an American accent. Now he's just not the dumb American. He's not the guy who's gonna screw up the opportunity. Let's take sex off the table just to get a woman interested in you. You know what I mean? I think it's just easier. Because it's hard to get some women to stop and talk to you in America.
I will concede on that for sure. Okay. For sure. The being more interested in you, more likely to like you off of being less, like, I don't know, charismatic or less what you consider the toppest of the top tier. But I absolutely agree. I actually think like not having that language connection, like if there is a language barrier, it might actually help you out too if you're a foreign dude traveling. You can't talk yourself out of it, bro. Exactly. You can't fuck it up as bad, So it's kind of that handicap you're putting on yourself is actually a bit of a benefit.
Right. And I'm with you there. You know what I mean? So, but it's just so many guys don't want to do the work. And that's what it boils down to, man. Like so many guys just don't want to do the work. Here in America, it's really just about going to the gym and not being fat, like not being obese. You know, don't stink. Like take a shower and go outside and build. Because so many guys are like, man, just go up to her and say hi, right? There's some of my dudes that say that, man, it ain't hard to talk to a woman. Just go up to her and say hi. Like, bro, you say that as a guy who's 6'3", 235 pounds, and you're ripped. Of course you can go up and just say hi. You can go up and say, sup, and she's gonna, you know what I mean, drop her drawers. You know what I'm saying? But
they'll at least stop and talk to you versus
Right.
some guys, they'll almost call the cops. I totally understand. I agree with that. And when I see people deny that, it's kind of just reality denial. You know, you can't say that it's just that easy. A lot of these dudes, they will literally get shamed for walking up to talk to a group of girls. Like,
yeah,
humiliated. It's not like it's pitched to be. Let's be real. You know, especially if you're short or something like that. Like,
especially if you can't do nothing about that. If you short, like, oh,
they turn around to see who was talking, and if you're below eye level, bro, they didn't even notice you're there. You're gone.
Yeah.
know, so
They turn around and you're like, I'm down here. I'm down here. Look. Like, if you don't get your munchkin ass up out of here, and like you said, though, it's you don't have that aspect as much in other countries. You know what I mean? Like in Europe, they don't really care about your height like that. I mean, they do like tall men, but
right.
If you come up and strike up a conversation, they're gonna talk to you.
No, I agree on that too. I think the height thing is by far more valued in North America than it is in Europe. And I only say that just from what I've seen being there, seeing a lot more like taller women with shorter dudes, like as a common thing. It's the only reason why I agree with that. I think it's undeniable. So I totally agree. It's Europe's a different thing, man. The social dynamics way fucking different. They are more feminine, I would say, including the men in general. Yes. But I would also say the women aren't as masculine as a lot of the women in the States are. So it's a weird combo. It's yeah.
It is a weird dynamic. It really is. Like, you have these women who are like, well, like, you know, you see this on FreshandFit all the time. Like, well, I can be feminine when I need to be, and I'm masculine when I need to be. Like, you can't turn it on and turn it off, man. It doesn't work that way. Like, you're one way or the other. Like, you just, if you're alpha, male or female. If you're alpha, you're gonna, well, I'm feminine when it's for him, but I'm alpha for the rest of y'all. Like, nah, I don't work that way, bro. It don't work that way. So you got all these little things, but again, I think the biggest problem with these guys, and I think the reason why the red pill space is so big and the manosphere has grown to this point, is because dudes are looking for cheat codes, and there are no cheat codes. There is no easy way to deal with this. You just got to get into it and make it happen. You know, like in order to have a physique, you know what I mean? Like to be built like He-Man, you got to hit the gym, bro. Like there's just no other way around it. You're going to have to do the work. People don't want to do the work. Shout out to Rich Cooper. He talks about that all the time. These men today don't want to do the work. They want to sit back and cry. And it's like, all right, man, well, if you're going to just sit back and cry, man, I ain't nothing I can do for you. You know, tell your chick to come here. That's all I
you're right. You're right, DL. I absolutely agree. Everything requires work, from your speaking ability to your charisma to like you said, your looks, how you do yourself up, your physique, everything like that. Even just your diet, so you don't smell like a fucking pig too. Sorry, but it's an important thing, right?
True.
So it's all stuff to consider. And the main thing is just increasing your sexual attraction to the other sex, right? Which is why I think just inherently you travel, both sexes. It works both ways. You travel, you just immediately get a bump to your sexual market value just from being foreign. Just on that alone. So I think it is slightly a cheat code. Obviously, it's not, like you said, it's very clearly not the be all end all. You're going to get fucking wrecked no matter where you go if you don't know what you're doing. But if you know what you're looking for, I don't see any problem with dudes traveling doing that. It's silly when I see these women getting all mad about it, dude. It's comical to me.
It is comical, bro. And like when we say travel, guys, and women out there too, whoever's listening to us, we do have some women who rock with us over here. But for the guys, we're talking to the guys right now. When I say travel, I'm not saying get on a plane and go to Sweden. All I'm saying is get in your car or go on a train. And if you live in Ohio, go to Michigan, right? If you live in West Virginia, go to Mississippi. That's all I'm saying. If you're in Canada, man, if you're in Ontario, go to Ottawa or wherever the hell y'all got up there, man. You know, I'm bad on y'all cities up there, but go
doesn't.
somewhere where it's different, right? Because you
No,
have
you're right.
Spanish like Quebec,
You're right.
like Quebec. You go to they speak French in Quebec, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's predominantly you actually get punished if you speak English there. But you're right. So even just like that neighboring territory, right? Like even from me going down to the States, I'm immediately higher value just from being Canadian. They can't really tell. As far as they know, I'm American. As soon as I say I'm Canadian, now I'm exotic.
Exactly.
So it's yeah, it absolutely works. Same thing with Northwest, all that kind of stuff. You get the accent in there, and then you also get just your internal confidence from your own perception of yourself. I find people when they stay in their little box, they whittle down their ego to a point where it's less than what you could be if you were to fully express yourself the way you should and could, right? And then if you take off somewhere else, it's like those inhibitions kind of come off if you allow yourself to do that and express yourself the way you're truly meant to be.
Yep, 100%. And like and it's so funny, man. Like, and again, you got to use race as well. And I don't mean this in a negative term, but if I go to Minot, North Dakota, it's not going to be a lot of black dudes there, right? With a Midwest accent, I can use that to my advantage.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm in a place like that, I'm gonna dress really nice. Right? And people they're just gonna look at me. I'm not gonna put on a tuxedo if I don't have to, you know what I mean? But I'll have on a nice vest with a tie, have a nice hat, have a cool little Peaky Blinders look going on or something like that. Or maybe I'll have some sort, if it's hot, maybe I'll have a Miami Vice look, like I'll look like Shooter in the tapes, wearing like pastel colors and white pants or something like that, right?
Just some style going on, right? Yeah.
Style going on. I'm exotic. Dude, who is this black guy? Yeah, we're all Americans, but bro, hey, how's it going? People are gonna want to know what's up with you. And you can use that, and you just kind of talk, and it's going to be a woman. I guarantee it's going to be a woman who is fascinated, and she wants to be the first one on her block to bag some dude from Cincinnati.
I totally agree, dude.
So I tell these guys to do that, man. And here's one of my things, man. Like people ask me, like, you're really good. I can strike up a conversation with anyone, especially when it comes to beautiful women. And they're like, man, what's your secret? What's your pickup line? Because I guess Myron has a pickup line that he uses, and he talks about it all the time on Fresh and Fit. I don't have a line, but I'll pay attention to what's going on. If a woman walks up and she's obviously Latina, right? Heavy accent. And I'm thinking maybe she's from Mexico, maybe she's from the DR, you know what I mean? Maybe she's from Colombia. I'll walk up to her while, kind of ease my way, into her orbit. And then I'm like, how you doing, love? Like, you talk funny. Are you from Texas? And that's what she's going to do. She's going to either do, or she's going to outright laugh with the sexiest laugh. And
I just saw it right away. What is it called? Not Dread Game, but it's right away. It's that the making a little bit of fun of them kind of show. It works well. But it's also hilarious. It's great. Yeah. It is.
It's funny, and especially, but they have to speak enough English to understand the joke. You know what I mean? And if they do, now you're like, okay, she speaks enough English. That's what's going on. And then, of course, you just strike up a conversation like, no, but seriously, though, where are you from? Like, you from Mexico? It's like, oh no, yeah, I'm from Mexico. From whatever, Sinaloa. Like, oh my goodness. You start looking around like, oh man, where are the Sicarios? They just start laughing. No, that's bad. But you're in the conversation.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. Two phrases.
A lot of it, it's not even really so much about what you say either, because it's mostly tonality and there's a better word for it, like expression, just your mood, your attitude, like how you're coming off. If it's the right, not vibe. I'm trying to avoid all these gay sounding words.
Hey, that's the world we're living in. Just go
you know what I mean, right? If your aura, you're emanating this confidence and or even just a bit of sexual. So I find this too. If you are honest and you're looking at them, and once again, bad word, but bear with me because it's going to make sense. If you're looking at them like a predator, right? They just respond to that shit. They like that shit. They like that alert looking guys. They like that predatory aspect, that masculine, that scary, that they like that shit. So if you're going at them when you're encountering them and you're being honest, let's say, with your intentions of being, and once again, horny is a bad word, but you're being upfront with what you're looking for, let's say, and your intentions.
Yes.
They respond way better to that than if you're fucking around trying to pretend like you give a fuck where they came from and what they do on Sundays for their hobby and shit like that. They don't. They'll sit there and talk your ear off all day if you want to do that. And don't get me wrong, I do that too. That's one of the main things. Is tell me about yourself. Tell me what makes you good.
Right.
You
And it
get-
depends on the situation too. You have to be aware enough of the situation and who you're dealing with. And you got to be able to make that assessment on the spot. Like you said, predator, I would use the term warrior. If a woman looks at you and she sees a warrior spirit, a warrior soul, like now this dude look like he can handle himself. You know what I mean? There's something about this guy. Like he's here, but he's also aware of what's going on around him, but he's not paranoid. That she's gonna be curious, like, what's up with this dude? And then they start talking to you. Hey, were you in law enforcement? Like, nah, once upon a time I was a soldier though. Oh my goodness, I could tell. And then bam, you're in the conversation. Like you said, bro. After you said all that gay stuff, man, I was like, bro, is he gonna pull a penis out of his mouth? Is that why you ain't got the camera on, bro? You
What?
sounded so, bro. You sounded so out there. I'm like, is this really Cody?
Well, I'm trying to think of the words to describe what I'm saying without sounding.
Or did you
But
say
you
or?
get
I'm
it,
like,
right?
oh,
Yeah.
my God. Oh my goodness.
but for real though, if you are emanating that kind of energy, that sexual energy, that I want you, and you're very clear and obvious about it, I find that works way better than just hands in the pockets, going through the lines kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely, bro. 100%. 100%. And a lot of guys don't realize this. And what we're talking about, gentlemen, takes just a little bit of work.
Right.
Just a little bit of work. When you I think it was that Orion Taraban guy, he was on Fresh and Fit. I like that dude. I don't know if you watched him at all, the Psych Hacks guy.
I'm not familiar with him, no.
I'm gonna send you some of his stuff, man. I like dude. And he was talking about how he had to build himself up, how he had to go out and just talk to women and get shot down. And he was talking about how difficult it was, how he didn't want to do it because no one wants to embrace the pain, right? They'll run away from pain to embrace pleasure, but he had to do it to force himself to go out and just say hello to, I don't know, 10 women or something like that. And he's like, he only would talk to women he was interested in because he wanted it to mean something. That takes a little bit of work, man. Fellas, y'all got to do that shit, man. Y'all got to do it, bro. You know what I mean?
See, I don't know about you, Joe, but that's actually something that I would personally advise more. And that's just through my experience of how I've seen things go when I'm fucking around, is I wouldn't bother if you're not actually attracted to the bitch. Don't bother trying to talk and flirt with her, do all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times they can tell, they really can. So if you're just trying to get this this 5 or whatever, and you're not actually feeling it, you don't really care. They can tell, dude. You're gonna have, I would almost say, more success by being actually interested in the chick you're trying to get after, because it's just gonna come off more natural and more real, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're right. And I tell dudes, my technique. I don't know if you've ever heard me say this before, man, but like if we go out, right? People are like, well, what do you do? Do you start with the 3s and 4s and do you move over to like a 7? Like, nah, man, I go into the spot, I post up, I get a good, so I can survey everything going on around me. And I start with the most beautiful woman there. That's who I go talk to. I go talk to the finest woman there.
Right.
And then from there, I work my way down. You guys are like, what? But I'm like, and women watch me. I've never gone past 7.
Right, to a point, exactly. It's like if I'm showing up to a steakhouse, right, and they're all out of steaks, I'm not getting the fucking salad. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, like, bro, for real. All right, damn, you guys are out of fillets. I guess I'll take that T-bone. Guess I'll take that, but I'll get out of there. Like, so if I start with the 10s, I've never gone below 7 because I'll get to the 7s and boom, I'll find someone who's interested. Why? Because the women are watching you, and women know that you're getting shot down, and they're paying attention to how you handle the rejection. And I tell dudes that that's like one of the most important things that guys need to understand, especially today. The way you walk up, with the confidence you have when you walked up to that woman after she shoots you down, I don't care how she does it, you have to walk away with just as much confidence, if not more. There's no need to kind of get mad at her and call her names or whatever. You just walk away. Okay, hey, sorry to bother you. Love you. Have a good night. And you walk away with the same amount of confidence you had when you walked up. Other women are watching.
For sure. I mean, I don't know why you would want that shit to get to your head anyway. I mean, for all you know, she could have been just nervous or felt awkward because her friends were there. Like, don't let what guys tend to do is they let all that shit go to their head too much.
Facts.
And they started thinking, what did I do wrong? I fucked up. Rather than, but the wind could have been blowing the wrong fucking way. Like, it doesn't mean that. Like, I've rejected bitches that I definitely 100% would have been smashing if it was half an hour later and I was a better position in where I was for whatever the fuck I was doing that day. But it's it's don't let that shit like prevent you from trying again. Let's say you're absolutely right. If you keep that confidence up, and that attitude about it, you're gonna have an easy time.
Yeah, going to definitely do it. We got Stronger in the house. Moxie, what's good, fam? He says he's in Tampa. Hey, man, my Instagram is scrolling below. Hit me up on my Instagram, man. If you're in Tampa, me and the Knights, we're meeting tomorrow at the International Mall. We're doing our monthly meeting. Dude, you're more than welcome to come have a cigar, have a scotch. I drink cognac, but if you show up, bro, I'll buy your first scotch. That's my word. Come holler at us, man. It'd be good to meet you because my thing is I need to see you in person. You know what I mean? So I can say I really know you. Me and brother Cody here, just a matter of time before I meet this brother. I can't wait to meet him so I can say I finally know brother Cody. You know what I mean? But that's how I look at life, man. I got to see you and break bread because this YouTube shit ain't real, guys. This isn't real. What Cody and I are talking about is the real world. We're not talking about how to DM some chick. We ain't talking about how to use Snapchat. We're talking about how to walk up to a human being in real life surrounded by other human beings and get on. That's what we're talking about. That I think is what's been lost. You know what I mean? I think that people simply just don't understand that art form anymore. And I think it's something we need to work on.
Right.
Brother Knights is in the building, man. Brother Knights with the $5 super sticker, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
I think that is I think the whole dating apps thing contributes big time to the hookup culture with all that what you were just talking about. And I think it's a lot less common overseas than it is here. Obviously, it still goes on, but it's just from people I've talked to when I've been other places, and you ask them if they have these apps. It's most people say no. Versus most people, if you talk to a young adult or even a teenager in North America, they all have these things. They all are on these dating apps or Snapchat, and all, which is really, as far as I'm, that's just a greasy platform. You know exactly what they're doing there. They're all sending naked pictures and the auto delete stuff. Everything greasy you can think about. If chick has Snapchat, bro, be careful with that because she's all about being sneaky. That's why she's got it,
bro. You gotta look at it like a cop, man. If you a 16-year-old dude, you driving down the street in a Bentley, right? You got on $1 million worth of jewelry, right? You always on the scene in the hood, bro. I'm sorry, he's a drug dealer. You know what I mean? Is his daddy Deion Sanders? Nah, that boy is out here cranking. So if you got women out there doing like what Brother Cody just said on an app that's made to keep you from getting caught, come on now. They putting in work. I ain't mad at them. I ain't mad at them now. Hey, guys, do me a favor. If you guys are just ninja watching, just checking this out, man, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know what I mean? Y'all getting the sauce. Isn't that what these young kids say, man? Getting the sauce.
Do you want to? I don't know how much more time you got here, DL. Do you want to go back to what he was talking about, Myron, that on the podcast there with the multiple women finding you more attractive when you do have one or more women already?
Yeah, let's finish up with that because I do have to go cook for my daughter again. Like she can eat now, man. She had a nasty stomach virus, bro. She can eat now. Yeah, so I'm gonna go down here and make her some chicken nuggets and some veggies. She likes peas and corn, and get her some bread so she can get something on her stomach. And so I definitely want you to I want to hear your take on that, bro. And then we'll end it there. And for you guys out there, yo, if y'all are in Tampa, like I said, we're going to be at King Corona. That's a cigar bar in the International Mall. International Mall, guys. There's 2 King Coronas. We're going to be at the one at the International Mall. I'm not even going to tell you where the other one is. So if you're not at the International Mall, you're wrong. Come join us. We're there once the 3rd Friday of every month. That's the New Templars. We're over there doing our thing, man. We're fellowshipping. We're doing what men need to do. It is a tribe. You need to be part of a tribe. Come join ours, bro. We're going to hold you to account. One of these days, we'll get Brother Cody down here.
I'll be down in Florida eventually here. I plan on it. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what is your take on that, man? Women being open to sharing their man, basically.
I think it's far more common than people are led to believe. Like far more. And even in North America, I think it's despite what is said, the amount of women that will actually accept that and put up with it is a lot more than you think. If you talk about like Europe and say South America, a lot of these other countries, it's almost expected. Like when I was dating chicks in France, they were like, well, it was almost like they were trying to encourage me to go have a mistress. Like, why aren't like how many mistresses you got? Like, why don't you have a mistress? My dad has a mistress. Like, what? Like, it's literally like that. It was like you were expected to do so because that's a normal what a masculine man would do because he's desired by multiple women. And I think that's also. I'll try to keep it short here. I think that's a contributing factor. maybe not all, but I think it is somewhat of a contributing factor for how marriage is diminishing too. Is I think a lot of what causes women's sexual attraction to men is the sexual attraction of other women to that man as well. So women are very fiercely competitive when it comes to men, and I think that's a large part of the driving factor for what makes a guy desirable to him, is whether more women are going after that guy, right? So I think when they get married and dude commits to being a slob and not being attractive to women anymore, that woman doesn't give a fuck about it anymore, no longer is attracted to him anymore, because no other women are trying to get at dude anymore. And then my final point is, and this is provable no matter where the fuck you go, if you have a bitch, or even if you got like you're on a date and you got a girl with you, that's the easiest possible time you could ever have to get more girls, is when you already have a girl.
That is the facts. Gentlemen, that is the facts. What Brother Cody just said, he was not lying a little bit, man. Let me give him a Don DeMarco for dropping the truth. Almost everywhere else in the world, powerful men have multiple women, period. It's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way. Here in America, and I guess in some of those other countries where feminism is real strong, that's where we're starting to see this new dynamic, right? Hey, it is what it is. If I walk into the spot, any spot, whatever it is, and I think I said this a couple of days ago, and if I have the most beautiful woman you've ever seen on my arm, right? Every woman in there sees me now. Every woman. It doesn't matter if I'm over 6 feet. It doesn't matter if I'm got a six pack. It doesn't matter, right? If I'm driving a Lamborghini or living in a penthouse, none of that matters. I'm with this woman, and every woman in there like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Who is that guy? They don't know what's going on in that relationship. They don't know if that's my woman or not. They just see that she's all over me. Right? She's sitting there. She's pouring my drinks. Right? She's quiet. She's not being bossy. She's gorgeous. She's feminine. She's sitting there, bro. And if you can go into a spot like Michael Surtain does this all the time, you go into a spot with 15, 20 beautiful women, you the man. Point blank, period. You are the man.
And the more they are all over you too, the more your value's going through the roof.
Yeah, it's like a chemical reaction, and it's like a nuclear explosion. Right?
It's the whole want what you can't have thing, I think.
Yeah. And then people are like, well, why is it that way? I don't care. I'm just letting you know it is. You know what I mean? It just, again, you want a cheat code? There you go. You know, but it just can't be you with a woman who's beautiful, and then she comes in there, and now she's an asshole. She's rotten on the inside. She's being bossy and loud and rude, and she's embarrassing. That's different.
Yeah. No, you're going to look like a chump immediately. Yeah, it totally doesn't work that way. I mean, it may some. You might get, because like I said, the odd woman still wants to steal you away, whatever they can. They get a lot of pleasure from that. They really do. They're kind of sick that way. Different compared to guys. Usually guys want their own. Women want somebody else's. I always find when it comes to relationships.
Facts. And look, Brother Lou, you're right. OJ Simpson still has zero trouble having multiple women. Watching any other man struggle. Man, he removed heads, yo. Like, come on, bro. And if he didn't do it himself, he was standing there when it happened. And yeah, these mass women. Magic. HIV positive, bro.
Bro.
Women
he probably
all
got
over.
He probably got the most sex he ever had after he killed his wife.
Yeah, it's about OJ. Sure enough.
Yeah.
Sure enough. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And Strong is saying, I think aside from sex, most men don't want what they don't know what they want. Facts. You got to know yourself, man. Know yourself, know your enemy. And that's one of the things I stress. Know yourself, man. You got to know you, gentlemen. You have to know you. How can you achieve your mission and accomplish your goals if you don't even know who you are? You can't even establish your goals, man, or how to get there. What's your take on that, Cody?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you don't got nothing to work towards, then where the fuck you going? You're not doing anything. You're kind of just sitting there in squalor, right? So absolutely. You got to at least have an idea of something you want to achieve. I mean, it's good to aim a bit low, but everybody says not to aim too high. I would say, fuck it. Aim as high as you can and try as hard as you can to get there, bro. Who knows where you're going to stop?
Facts, man. Hey, start with the tens, work your way down. Aim for, what did they say? Aim for the moon, you're amongst the stars. If you miss, you're amongst the stars. Whatever,
exactly.
Man. But yeah,
because your biggest competitor is yourself. The only one gonna fucking stop you the most from trying is you, bro. And every time you stop you from doing it, you're completely taking away that chance that you could have had.
That is what it is. Extreme far right misogynist, Cody. bro, I love the names that you use when you come up here, bro. I love the names that you use when you come up here. We're gonna have to leave it there, man. Tomorrow I'm gonna be on real early. We have the meeting tomorrow evening, so I'm not gonna be able to go live at 6. I was gonna do one of those pre-recorded one premiered, but then people get confused and they get mad when I'm not showing chats. So I'm just gonna do a show way early. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weekends roll around. I got stuff to do as a single dad, man. So I give you the last word, brother Cody.
Get multiple wives if you're gonna have wives at all, bro. That's my last word.
Oh my God. Hey, go ahead and do it. I don't want to deal with it, but for those brothers who can handle it, man, make it happen. Because guess what? When I was in Saudi Arabia, all these dudes had multiple wives, man, but they could afford them. And they knew what they were doing, and it works. I don't know why people in America thinks what we're doing over here works, because the divorce rate ain't that high over there in the Middle East. You come over here to America, 50%, and I would argue is really closer to 75% when you add in the people who are unhappy and living apart and all that other kind of stuff, just because they don't want to go through the court system. So they doing something right.
Absolutely do. It's still the social programming, because if you ask most of those I don't know, sister wives, or whatever you want to call it, the multiple wives, if they're happy in their relationship, it's yes. Whereas you ask a lot of monogamous couples here, if they're happy in a relationship, quite often it's no. And it's like, okay, well, what's the math here? You're telling me that this is what's supposed to be desired, but everybody's miserable, versus this over here is supposed to be bad and big, evil, patriotic, but it seems to be working out pretty well. Stable families, thriving communities out there.
Facts. They are building water havens in the desert. You telling me their society has failed? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all see what's going on over here in America? Hey, man, I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. And I'm with you. I'm with Cody now, man. Yeah, go ahead and get yourself multiple women, man. But be upfront. Don't lie. Do not lie. Tell the truth from the beginning, man. Be a man. Stand there, 10 toes down. This is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, that's fine. I still love you, but I'm moving on. That's what you got to say. Don't have one-itis. Have an abundance mindset. You agree with that, brother Cody?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a fan of cheating at all. I'm gonna be real with you, Dale. But as like we've said before, if you're saying like, look, I'm dating you and her, or I plan to have another wife because I want X amount of kids once we're done with this, and she's okay with that, and you go to that agreement, there's nothing cheating about that. It's pre-arranged agreement, totally legit.
That's what's up, and we'll leave it there, man. So I appreciate it, man. This is Brother Cody right here, the extremely super far-right misogynist. I'm DL Saint, and this is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, we're going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.